One of the dirty jobs that most of us don't think about when we're planning our beautiful, idyllic beef business is castrating our bull calves. And while unmanning bulls was not a job that was high on my bucket list, it is a process that requires some careful planning and timing in order to minimize the stress on your animals and also to end up with the highest quality finished product when that animal goes to market. There are several reasons why it's important to castrate your bull calves. It's important from a safety standpoint of lowering the aggression of the animals you're going to be working with, and also from having a mixed herd of young females and young bulls together. You don't want them interbreeding. But most important is the effect that it has on the meat of that animal. If you leave that young bull calf intact, he's going to start putting on a lot more muscle as he starts going through his puberty phase, if you will. A steer will put on a lot more fat and the meat will be a lot more tender as opposed to a bull. A bull that you leave intact and you tried to eat is going to be very tough, very gamey tasting, and not going to give the quality eating experience that you want. So this afternoon we've got 5 bull calves that we need to castrate. So the first thing I did was separate them from their mothers. We got them moved over here into one side of our barnyard. But we get them sorted out, and then I've set up just kind of a simple chute system, and that headlock catches them, locks them in place so they can't get out, keeps them confined so they're not hurting themselves. Then we can get in there and take care of business. All right, so there's a couple different schools of thought on castrating these steers. So what we've done in years past is we use a very small band that looks about like a Cheerio, and we've been banding the bull's testicles right when they're born. So their calves are easiest to catch when they're about 3 hours old. After that, good luck. So we try and get them right away, put the band on them, tag them, and then we don't have to touch them again. This year we were trying something a little different. We're trying to let them stay what they call intact for a couple of months, helps them grow out a little bit faster. And we're finding that this is actually easier to work them. Once they're big enough to work in a chute system like this, we can catch them in the head gate here. And honestly, it's a lot safer and it's a little bit easier working environment. So we use a much bigger band now because the item we're working on is quite a bit bigger. And so what we do is that this then slips over the testicles. We put it up as high as we can. And then it's a ratchet strap that we tension this down. It works kind of like a torque wrench. And once it's tight enough, then I hit this thing and it cuts the excess off. And so leaves a very tight restriction around the top of the bull's scrotum, essentially, and restricts blood flow, and eventually that'll drop off. We've done it both ways, where we had the vet come out and actually do this as a surgery procedure, and we found that this is actually a lot more humane, a lot lower stress for the animal, and a lot less risk of infection. It's the other reason we time it in the cold weather, not near as many flies and stuff that we have to worry about. So this guy's been in here for a couple minutes. We kind of let him settle down. Now we're going to go in here, do the dirty deed, and then we'll let him back out with his mom. So Judah's got a hold of his tail. He's got it cranked up over his back here. And what that does is makes it hard for him to arch his back and kick at me while I'm working here. The chute does most of that, but it's just an added precaution. So what you see me doing here before I try and slip this band over is reaching up and making sure that both of the testicles are descended down into the sack. Many of you guys might be familiar with this, but as the weather is colder, those testicles are sucked up in closer to the animal's body to keep them warm. And it's very important you get both of them. It's possible that one of them be slipped up and you're not able to get that band around them both. So I kind of pull them down, and then I work that strap up around the top of the sack, again making doubly sure that I have both of them before I start tightening that strap down. All right, so there you can see I've slipped that band up there, get it up as high as I can around the top there, and then work it up, and then all I gotta do is start ratcheting. And once this ring here gets to my tension line, I know it's tight enough. And notice he's not flinching much. Doesn't cause him a lot of discomfort compared to surgical procedure. There we go. To release and not cut it. There's my excess, and we're ready to go. Then once we're done, things cinched up nice and tight, we can get everybody clear so everyone's safe and out of the way. Then it's just a simple matter of releasing the head gate lever and get a little pressure on it, and he can walk right back out and join his mother.